Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we're actually painting another landscape. Recently I've been really enjoying painting landscapes. So today again I've come up with a new video, new landscape painting, and this is again something that I learned recently called monochrome painting, and I saw many YouTubers were doing this, so I decided let me try it out myself. So the color I'm choosing is black. I've got my usual messed up palette and I've got a flat brush and water. First, what I'm gonna do here, I've got a big A4 sheet. I've taped it around like this, and I've got half a sheet. I'm using only half a sheet for this painting. So first, wet the paper as usual. Everything is going to be monochrome, is basically painting the whole painting with one color. It's called a monochromatic painting. Mono means one. So basically we have to use only one color for this whole painting, which is interesting. It basically teaches us that we can paint with less supplies. We keep thinking, oh no, I have only few colors, I need to purchase more. You don't need to actually. And it teaches you a lot about values. So even if you have a lot of colors, I suggest you try this out because values are very important to learn about. Okay, first of all, for the first thing, we're using a light value of color, just a light touch of gray. Okay, it's not gray that I'm using here. I'm using a black color for this whole painting today. As you can see, I'm adding light touches, light values. It's not even much visible in this whole painting, but I'm adding light values of color, which is what is making it nice. Okay, there's nothing much to it basically. You just paint with one color, but here's an idea of what I thought of painting. I've seen this in some photographs. Actually, on Google or something, when you go and see, in some of the photographs I've seen on our phones itself, have these mountains. When we had gone to a snow trek also, I've seen this. We have these mountains. Sorry about my hair, just came in front of the camera. So we have all seen these mountains. Some mountains are close to us and then some move far away. We must have seen those mountains. Like the mountains close to us are more visible, and the mountains far from us, or just think of any normal object. An object close to us is more visible. An object farther away is less visible. Okay, let's think of it like that. Now, what we that's something we're going to try and represent in this piece of paper today, which is using just one color. So I usually like to use many colors, make my picture bright and beautiful, but sometimes we should try playing around with value. So today I'm using only black, so it's using only black. I have black here. I'm opening the tube for a darker color. So basically, playing with values can teach a lot to us. It helps us learn about value, which is very important when we are painting. It's one of the most important things to learn before watercolor painting. And again, I wanted to mention, I don't think I mentioned this, but today's painting tutorial is completely beginner friendly, so I suggest you try it out. Like, very easy this is. That's what I meant to say. It's super easy and simple. So after I've got a light wash of background, I'm taking a dark coat of black paint. As you can see, basically less water and more paint is what I've got here, which is the dark value of paint, which is the first layer, because the object is closer to us. So I'm adding a darker paint. darker value because the object is close to us. As you can see here, I'm just going to spread that down. You can mess with all the values, you know, like the lightest value, lighter value, darker value, darkest value. You can just play around at first. You can try your own paintings. Need not be these mountains. It need not be this color. It can be anything. You can mess around and try it yourself. And I did this when it was wet itself because I wanted that to see that puffy blend, because I think that looks really, really nice. That puffy blend. Just makes it look new and nice. So I like adding that texture to it. That puffy blend makes it all look better. So I'm using a lot of color to get the puffy blend. Here by mistake a little white got mixed, so that's an accident. You can still always cover it up with a darker value. And here's a tip that I've been wanting to tell all of you, that many of us forget to follow. That is, we usually go too dark on the watercolor piece and that doesn't work out. So here's a suggestion. Instead of going too dark at first, I suggest we go lighter, because we can always move to a darker portion. We cannot go lighter in watercolor. Whereas in acrylic or gouache, you can always move lighter, darker, and change values, which is advantage in that. But watercolor also has its own advantages, like transparency, and it has many advantages which you will know when you explore watercolor a little bit more. Okay, so here I've got a dark value of mountains first. This is the darkest value. Now I'm going to a lighter value. Okay, now this is the lighter value. As you can see, it's much lighter than this. You don't want to get it lightest value right away. You want it still be dark. You want to go through the darker value, the dark value, or else you could say that. Okay, so this is the darkest, this is dark, then we're going to have light, and then we're going to have lightest. So 4 is what we want. You can also add medium if you want. I count darker or dark as medium itself, which is totally optional. I like to call it that way because that's the way I feel comfortable, but you can call it anything you like. It's just completely optional. Basically, we just learn to play with values when you're trying out a monochrome painting. Sometimes can be difficult, but no matter. Got a little bit white mixed up again over here, so just went in with the cloth. And of course I wanted to add another tip. Today I have a lot of tips for you guys, as I've already shared 2 tips with you. This is the 3rd tip. Whenever you add too much color and you notice right away, you can take a cloth and wipe. As you saw, I took an old cloth and wiped it. You can take any normal paper towel or something like that and wipe it, which is great way of taking the darker color away. But as you can see here, that was because I added white by mistake. Anyway, so this is the dark value, darkest and dark value. Now I'm moving on to adding a light value. Now the light value is going to be as good as the background value, which is not much. This might be the last value I'm adding, I'm still not sure. Okay, so you can see, yeah, this is the last value I'm adding. can of course blend in even these mountains to the topper, because that just helps a little more. Okay, I added slightly darker color, but that's alright. Always take water or my paper towel and wipe it away. You can also use the dry brush technique, which is basically holding a dry brush. Now let me see, I have a dry brush over here and I have too much paint. When I dab with a dry brush, it becomes a lighter color. So that's another method if you don't have paper towels or you feel they're waste or you just don't use such stuff. Just with usual watercolor supplies, you can do these value changes. As you can see, I got this darker value again. Dry brush, wipe it away. And of course, I like using water too. Okay, now this is my monochrome painting done, and I think I've learned a lot of different stuff from painting monochrome paintings. I will be trying out one more with blue color. Same mountains like this with blue color up here is what I'm planning to do. Explore more in values, which is something I want to do, but it's totally optional and you can use whatever colors you want and do the monochrome painting however you want. And that's the good thing about this. So even if you don't have many watercolors and you just have primary colors, of course, if you have primary colors, you can mix colors, but still, just with one color, you can make a whole new painting, which is a great thing I learned, and I think it's wonderful. Okay, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.